All right, we're live. I'm live, anyways. Ryan will be a little late just because he's working on a little design project he's finishing up right now, so he'll probably be on within the next 10 minutes or so. Hopefully, this stream will be a shorter one, about an hour long, because I have to go pick up the boys from school because they have a half day today. So I'm going to text Ryan and let him know that I'm ready for him whenever. 1 second. Sent. Okay. Cool. So we thought today we'd draw just a scene from a movie. I feel like next week I want to do something Christmas related. So I'm going to get started now since we only have an hour, and usually our streams run a couple hours long, maybe 3. So I'm going to try to get the scene that I have in mind laid in. You guys can probably see it on my phone right there, my reference. So yeah, let me get started. If you're joining in, look on the right side of your screen. There should be a little chat window and I think a little prompt that says say something. So if you're tuning in, say something. Okay. My hair is probably a mess, but my hat is in the way. All right. Let's get started. It's higher than I want it to be. I'm just laying in. For this face. I'm gonna draw it a little bit lower. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fit everything in on this drawing that I want to, just because the size of my paper. Yeah, this camera is in my way. I'm gonna angle it down just a bit. It gets you guys closer to the picture anyway. So you probably won't be able to see much of what I'm doing initially, because when I do this, I'm laying my lines in, some guidelines and stuff pretty lightly. That way, when I make mistakes, which I will, and I'll make them often, I can just lightly erase and adjust from there. Mistakes are already being made. My brow line needs to be a little higher. Just checking to see if anyone's on. Just trying to stay loose right now. Just kind of reading everything. My heads always end up being bigger than what I intend, but that's all right. One problem with using references or movie stills as a reference, they are often blurry. I can never find a good quality still that has lots of detail, so I kind of have to guess a lot. So generally in a lot of these drawings, like if you guys have seen like the series of aliens drawings that I've been doing, you generally won't see a lot of detail like in the lips or like the eyes, like eyelashes and eyelids and stuff like that. Just because the photo sucks. Plus, I'm looking at all this from my phone screen, so that's a very small image. And I have to pinch zoom in a lot, which makes it even blurrier. This eye needs to come in more. I think, oh, maybe not. I think it needs to be down a bit more. There's the curve, the nose, the bridge. It's kind of in line with the bridge. I am also a child of the 80s. So generally movies that I tend to draw from are ones that I loved growing up. So of course, I don't think the resolution on some of these is going to be as good because they are generally older movies from the 80s or the 90s. All right, Ryan's on the way. He should be here shortly. Chose this scene because I like the lighting. I like this actor's characteristics on his face. Here's Ryan.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're very quiet though. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you good.
I'm gonna turn the speaker up a little bit.
You said so what I was actually going to show you all my picks before I gathered around 15 pictures.
Of what?
Of the movie scene I wanted to do.
Oh, okay.
Did you already pick yours?
Yeah, I'm laying it in right now. I just decided since I was kind of short on time, I was going to go ahead and get a head start on you. So I've been talking to our audience, well, that we don't really have yet.
Ah, yes. Man, I super busy this week, and then right before the stream, I get a call from a customer, and I was like, I feel like I don't want to answer this, but and it's one of the customers I have that he doesn't always talk about work to me, so that's why I was kind of like, But then there was a part of me that was like, I should probably answer this because there's also some things in the works that we're kind of working on. So
Yeah.
right when I answer it, it was about a coworker a long time ago, and he kind of ended up like doing something that was kind of crappy, and then he wanted to talk to me about like maybe how he should handle it. I was like, oh man, that is kind of crappy, but because I actually managed the dude a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
So I think it was a little bit of like more like old manager to new manager, like how to handle this guy, because he's super nice, but he's one of those dudes that you really like immediately when you meet him. You're like, man, this dude is really cool. And then when you work with him, you're like, God, this guy is awesome. But he's one of those guys that comes into work late. He does like little things that are just like, God, dude, why do you keep doing this? You know, like,
Right.
like I like you. I don't. Oh. But so then you're stuck in this weird area of, you know, how to handle it.
Word.
Okay, I'm airdropping these now.
Doing what?
Man, one of these days I'm just gonna have to just do a little bit of design work for everybody, or everybody, the stream, because there's times where it's just like, man, I just like I want to draw, but I just got this design work.
Got work to do. Got to pay the bills.
It's funny, since we started drawing again, or since I started doing this thing with you, I'm not saying I hate design, but I'm just like, I could be doing something way better right now. And
Yeah.
then when I get the paycheck, it's like, this isn't so bad. This isn't too bad. Let's see here. Okay, why is this not pulling up? Is there too many items that I'm trying to do here? Okay, there we go. Got it. Okay, so I got a whole bunch of them because I kind of wanted to see what you thought, because I'm really going to try to challenge myself on this one. So sorry, I'm going to take you away from your drawing maybe a little bit, because I kind of want you to also pick it, so I'm not just picking one that I'm like, ooh, I like that one, or whatever, and just having you as a different viewer kind of see. Okay, so here we go, Coach. Now I picked ones that have like backgrounds that are a little challenging. And this one is a fucking nightmare to me. But
I'm basically just doing another portrait like my aliens portraits.
Oh, you son of a bitch, Coach. No, it's okay. I don't care. So
well, I got an hour too, so
yeah. Well, this is one I figured I was thinking we work on and really kind of see like our progress. And I mean, if you want to, you can do that one and then and do a really crazy one like I'm going to do, because it's probably going to take me a while to do it, especially. I think I can finish up all my design work by Monday, but I'm not quite sure. But then I could just start working on this, like, or whatever. So anyway, so this is Good Will Hunting, which is one of my favorite movies. It's probably my top movie. But so this is a really pivotal scene, but it's got all the books and stuff and the stuff behind it, which I think would be a lot of fun, but I might hate it. And then here's one that is just a little bit more centered. There's two people. The background I think would be kind of interesting to do, because there's a guy back there, but it'd be interesting to like kind of see how I'd fit in this background. There's not much background, so I went ahead and picked. Okay, so this is Blade Runner 2049, and I really liked this. It's Joy. I don't. Did you ever see Blade Runner 2049?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's the part where the Blade Runner is just realizing that, you know, the person he loved was all kind of not necessarily fake, but, you know, it's just a computer system. But it's Joy kind of pointing at him. And it's got rafters and stuff. I thought it'd be kind of interesting to like do that. And then here's another one from Blade 2049 where it's him and Joy just kind of talking at the beginning of the movie. So there's a lot of like kind of building shapes in the background and some interesting lighting on the wall and stuff like that. And then I don't know if I really like this one. Joel. So here's one, another Good Will Hunting one where there's people in the background, they're eating. This is kind of like a little bit later on in their relationship. But it's got some buildings in the back.
Get a room. Gosh.
What's that?
Get a room.
And then this is The Last Samurai, which I thought was a really cool scene where it's like raining. So I was like, ooh, that would be interesting. Like, how would I do that? You know, with the rain. But like the wet clothes is really interesting to me, and the setting with the trees and the dirt. It'd be a really hard one, I think, but it'd be fun.
That's what she said.
And then and these actually a lot of these pictures are me not just grabbing photos. I actually picked them through the video. I would pause it and then I would screenshot it. So what's really cool about something? What's that?
For me, anytime I'm watching a movie directly and I try to screenshot it, it's just black because like some sort of copyright protection or something on the film.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Hasn't it happened to you? You try to screenshot a movie or something and the photo just is black. It's just nothing.
That's crazy.
Like I tried that with I was watching Lord of the Rings. I think it was the last one. And there's that scene where Strider and Legolas and Gimli. It's like the pivotal scene at the end where the war is being fought, and they bring all those ghost guys along with them.
Uh-huh.
And Strider like kind of jumps off the edge of the ship, but he like, what's it called? He like puts his arm down and kind of heaves himself over, but is like he's kind of like in a weird kind of like a weird cool dynamic pose, and I like took a picture of it because I was like, oh, that'd be kind of a cool pose to draw, like kind of a comic book style. And yeah, just showed up black. I was like, what?
How do they even do that? Like how?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I was watching it off of like I think Amazon. Maybe if it's your own movie that you bought, maybe it would still show. I don't know, but
all the screenshots I did, I found HD content, and I was just on YouTube, and I just screenshot on my computer. I had to make sure it's HD because YouTube, even in HD, YouTube can kind of be really crappy.
Well, yeah, like I got this screenshot that I'm working off of YouTube, but it's like crappy, not the best resolution. And plus, I tend to pick older movies because I'm like a child of the 80s, and you know, I don't think some of them anyway, just can't get as good resolution as some of these newer movies.
Mm-hmm. You know what's cool about those older movies, though, is that I really enjoy is when they remaster them. I don't know, maybe it's just me, dude, but I almost really like that graininess when I'm watching it. It's even like it makes things look more real, and it just it doesn't look so manufactured. I don't know, like, but I like that. I like that they're stuck. Even when they do those remasters, new digital remastered movie, it still has that grain in it, and I don't know. I guess maybe that grain is a little bit of nostalgia or something, but because I grew up on VHS tapes or something,
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, so here's the Last Samurai one, and then here's another one, which is that same scene, but it's that dude those two guys looking at that scene happening, which I thought was a real powerful kind of part. And then yeah, you can tell I screenshot that. But this is. Did you ever see Good Will Hunting?
No.
Holy shit, Coach!
Never a movie I've been like that interested in.
Oh man, you got to watch it, dude. But this is the part.
Nick's joining. Is that Star Wars? No, it's not Star Wars.
What?
He's asking if I'm drawing a scene from Star Wars. This is Harrison Ford, though, on the left, Nick, who was in Star Wars. That you're probably not aware. He played Han Solo in Star Wars.
Wait a second. Harrison Ford was in Aliens?
I'm not drawing a scene from Aliens.
What are you drawing again?
This is a scene from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Oh, okay. For some reason I was thinking about the text that you sent me, and it was just like, aliens?
And Nick,
why did you pick that scene?
Alex and I were watching this movie last night. She was wanting to watch an Indiana Jones movie, and this scene in particular, like, I just like because I really like this guy's just his face.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the lighting in this scene. We're just kind of getting a glow from like the red light and stuff, and like the steam in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna try to like replicate that steam, so I like actually drawing like not in my sketch pad, but on a piece of Bristol.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I always start off wanting to draw my head smaller. They always just end up bigger. So now it's just going to be basically his face. I don't know. I might force in like Harrison Ford's face, maybe a little bit closer than it really is.
Hopefully that doesn't mess with the dynamic, because I almost think that space there between them, I mean, it could probably help make it more dynamic, but something about that space between them is almost like you really get that tension between them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That open air. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer.
So whatever. We only got like an hour or so. I'm just gonna go with it and see how it goes.
Well, maybe this can be a project that like we work on for like, like a week or week and a half or whatever.
Yeah, I'll probably put more time in it because I'm not going to finish it within the time we have.
Yeah.
Dude, we got 2 viewers right now.
Whoa!
And we got 2 subscribers now on our YouTube channel.
Dang!
So Nick, are you one of the subscribers? If not, you should be. Help a brother out. Tell Andy too. Also, that fucker. And I'll be in the gym on Monday. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling better. Yeah, when we got back from vacation, Ryan, I don't think I told you.
Yeah, you got COVID.
Okay, yeah. So, and it's going to be rough when I get back to the gym because I have not worked out for 2 weeks. And so.
With how much you work out, though, Coach, I'm sure you'd probably pick it up a little bit quicker. Maybe that first day.
I mean, I will, but it's going to be like my conditioning. I feel like conditioning is usually the first to go, and then strength. I probably wouldn't have lost much strength, but I feel like my conditioning.
What do you mean by conditioning? Like, what do you mean by that? Like
just like the pain, like my ability just to keep moving
Oh,
without stopping, like throughout the workout, like, and to be moving at a fairly quick pace.
so almost like your stamina.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
lost some stamina points.
Kind of, I feel like it's going to hurt. The breathing is going to hurt more, and it's going to, that pain is going to set in a lot quicker than it usually does. And I'm probably going to be, for the most part, resting a lot more than other people, so I don't think I have these proportions set in too perfectly, but I'm just gonna go with it, see what happens. Just gonna start laying in some shadows, blocking in some shadows. It's like you said, like sometimes you just need to start laying in some rendering for the face to kind of appear.
So this is
I don't think he's viewing anymore. What's that?
What did you say? Viewing?
Nick's not replying to my commentary, so I don't think he's viewing. I don't think he's watching anymore.
You know what's funny is I've told the other Nick about what we're doing, and not that I wanted him to like watch us, but I was like, Nick is a big fan of Aliens. I was like, dude, I did Metal Gear, and Nick's a big fan of Metal Gear, and I was like, you should ask Coach or talk to him about he's drawing alien stuff. I was like, you should look at what he's drawing, and I didn't hear any reply or anything from it. And has Nick asked you about it?
No.
A little turd face.
No, but I'm not surprised. Nick's super bad about like following up. He's really bad about that. So.
Well, here's another one. So Forrest Gump, obviously, all my favorite movies are not sci-fi. They're almost like big emotional movies. But here's one. You've seen Forrest Gump, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is, obviously a part that I thought was pretty good. It was just such a dynamic pose with this house. Like it was a good shot from the film, I thought. So I screenshotted this one. But so there's that one, and then there's both of them kind of sitting down when there's not enough rocks. And then this one, I'm just infatuated with Minnie Driver in Good Will Hunting. I think she's so beautiful in this movie. So then there's this one, and see like the door and the 206, and then it's got like this like vintage little tag. I thought that would be kind of interesting to draw, like a door. I know it sounds stupid, but a door. But out of all these that you've seen, I want you to pick it because I want you to be like, I think that one would be challenging or whatever. But
I think they're all going to be challenging.
Which one would you want to see? Like
my favorite scene out of all those is the Blade Runner with that one you just skipped right there.
Joy. Or this one.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. That one I think is like the contrast between the giant holographic. What's that actress's name? I forget her name.
Oh gosh, it's something weird. What is she, like Italian or something like that? Or no, she's not Italian. She's she's from the Middle East, I think. God, what is she? I can't. Aaron would know. If Aaron was watching us right now, he knows all their names and stuff.
Yeah. Well, she was just in that Marilyn Monroe thing on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's her.
I can't remember. Is it something?
She.
I don't want to say Armani, but that's.
No, but it's close to that. It's like, I know what you mean though. It's like has that twang.
Yeah.
So for just reference, I want to possibly do it on this gray paper. I want to try to make it kind of like a I was thinking gray paper because I could do it almost like to give it like a real caught in a moment feel, if that makes sense, rather than like a like I almost think the gray paper would help with like this vintage kind of like old theatrical. I I caught this moment and it's old. It's you know offset like maybe some old film would be. The color would be a little off and stuff like that. So I was thinking it would be really interesting on a gray paper. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Think it'd be neat.
I think so. Yeah.
So, you want me to do this one, or would you like me, or is there another one that you think?
It's probably like the least challenging out of them all, but I don't know. I just think it's like dynamically, it's like the coolest one. I mean, you still have some, it'll, you'll get some practice with perspective, like with those railings and all the pipes.
Yeah.
I think. And then you're probably going to really have to figure out, like, when you're drawing a smaller person, you're not going to be putting that much more detail into them,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll be putting more detail into her.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting about that is I would have to, I mean, even though I'm not putting detail in there in that small dude, I really have to think of compositionally how I'm supposed to draw him in a way that he still is kind of a big deal. Because if you look at the composition on this, and dude, anything that this director does, he also did Dune and what was that? Was that Arrival? Dude, it's almost like every shot he does is a fucking piece of like artwork, in my opinion. Like he's so beautiful. The way he shoots his scenes. God, he's probably one of my favorite directors. He does a lot of sci-fi, but he just has an eye for composition and stuff. But what's really interesting is if you look at this, let me see if I can get the to be able to edit it. Oop, not there. Oh, let me get the yellow going here. Oh yeah, so here we go. So what's really neat about this composition, and I think what makes it work really well, is obviously you got two dynamics here. You got the big and the small. But if you look at the railing, of where it's going, it leads your eye directly at him.
Yeah.
And that's like just so cool to me. That's why I love this director, dude. It's like, and granted, every movie has these kind of scenes where, I mean, there's a reason why they're shot in a certain way. But it's like, I don't know, I really enjoy it. And then obviously you got the finger pointing this way, and then you got everything leading to him. So in a sense, he is the most important part, but he's also the most subdued part. And that's so cool to me. Like I love that idea. It's that duality of like, I think that's what makes it interesting in my opinion. But okay, well, I'll do that. I'll do this one. I wonder if I could find a little bit better quality so I can get some of these little details in here of her skin.
Yeah, that's like the only issue that I've found with doing all these movie still references. Is just even if you do find like a movie that's recently filmed, it's like a 4K, like there's still like compression and issues, I think, that happen, you know, when they're all uploaded to the internet. And so it's like sometimes, especially these ones that I'm doing, like you got to make your best guess.
So what, personally, what makes you attracted to that? What makes you really attracted to that? Like, does it do anything for you? Like, does it move you at all? Or, you know, what's funny, real quick.
Nothing
I know
really moves me.
I just asked you a question, but let me real quick. Do you remember when you were cooking that meat at your house? I immediately, when I saw that picture, Kalima, like you you were over there like racing the meat off on this
Oh
thing.
yeah.
You're like, and you just looked over, you're like, check it out. Kalima. Like I immediately understood it. Like it was so funny.
Kalima.
But,
Kalima Shakti De. Kalima Shakti De.
Dude, I really need to watch Indiana Jones, all three of them all the way through, because I'm not like a huge fan of Indiana Jones, but I'm just that guy who's seen him a million times, but I've never seen him consecutively. It's always been like, you know, just like how TBS was back then, stuff like that, where it's just like, oh shit, Indiana Jones, I can't change it, you know, and it's like three
Right.
quarters of the way in, or it's like I never really sat and watched them all consecutively. And I think it'd be cool to do that someday.
Like, did you watch them all the way through?
Yeah, but again, I couldn't tell you. To be honest, I couldn't tell you if I've watched each of the three. I want to say three, not four, of the three, front to back. I think maybe I've seen two of them front to back, but maybe not the other one.
Gotcha.
The one that I'm thinking of that I haven't seen front to back is the one with the ark, or the cup, where at the very end he finds the real cup that Jesus used or whatever. I think that's the one I haven't seen completely all the way through.
Oh, that's like the best one.
That's the one that sticks in my mind that I really like a lot.
The Last Crusade with Sean Connery.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the best ones, like I would say. But Temple of Doom is, did you know it was partly responsible for the PG-13 rating?
What do you mean?
So when this movie came out, this movie is rated PG. Now it's a darker indie movie. It's got, you know, the scenes of this guy ripping that dude's heart out.
Mm-hmm.
So it deals with like a lot of dark themes on top of that, you know, and like so when it came out, like it freaked out parents because they were taking their kids to go see it. And because they're sitting here watching a movie that's rated PG, so you wouldn't think it was as violent. So, but it's not like there was like a lot of harsh language or anything like that. So it's, after that, that and this movie and Gremlins.
Gremlins?
Both were responsible for the PG-13 rating. Yeah.
What happened in Gremlins? That was, I can't remember.
It's just another one of those movies that's probably like a bit scary.
I guess it wasn't creepy. Yeah.
For kids. So yeah, I think there was a lot of parents that were complaining and stuff, and so that prompted the FCC, I think, to come up with the PG-13 rating for, you know, movies that have some more disturbing content. fun little fact.
That's interesting. Yeah, I was just telling Aaron, there's a show on Netflix that it's called
there's
The
lots of
Movies
shows
That
on
Made Us. What's that?
Said, yeah, there's lots of shows on Netflix.
It's called The Movies That Made Us. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah. I love that show. They haven't come out with a new one here in a while, so I kind of hope they come out with some more movies. I think they do cover one of the Indiana Jones movies, I think.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure. I mean, I could be mistaken. I know Aliens is on there.
Sometimes I watched, the only one I watched was the Halloween one. And I want to watch more, but I've just been so busy. I really haven't watched. I couldn't tell you the last time I actually sat down and like really watched something. But it almost takes away a little bit of the magic. When I started watching the Halloween one, there were some moments where I was like, oh, I was like, so this wasn't some guy's grand scheme. A lot of this was just thrown together and just kind of random. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, kind of, that's a bummer. But I mean, it turned out well. But you know, when you watch a movie like that, you're just like, oh shit, that's somebody's. You know, they had this planned out. They had this, you know, great, incredible vision, and oh wow, that's amazing. And then it's just like, oh yeah, well, fucking John was on set that day, and we're like, hey, can you put on the mask? And we're like, yeah, sure, okay. He's
Yeah.
like, and then he's
Yeah,
and then
that
he's
part.
Michael Myers. Jesus. Or they talked about what the movie was supposed to be really about. I think it was called like The Babysitters, or not what it was really about, but the names of it. I think it was supposed to be like The Babysitter Killers or something like that. I don't know, something wild. I was like, holy shit. I was like, well, I'm glad they went with Halloween. All right, Coach. Well, I'll do this one. This one is going to be tough. I probably, before I start, I think I am going to go online and see if I can find a really high quality one. And I might even take it into Photoshop and try to clear it up a little bit if I can, but I don't know. I don't know if I can. Are you going to get a computer, Coach?
At some point.
Are you any closer to getting like the iPad?
Oh no, not at all.
Really?
Not at all. But I might be. We might have to figure out times to stream on the weekends soon, because I'm going to be applying for a full-time job.
Where at?
This place my buddy works at called Industrial Sales.
Oh.
It would just be like some simple, like an assistant purchasing assistant. I would just be entering like POs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I worked with my friend at a previous job, so he was like, yeah, I think you'd be a really good fit. And he's like, it's really not that hard of a job to do. He's like, you don't need like tons of experience. He's like, do you know Excel? I'm like, yeah. Like, I'm not like super proficient with Excel, but.
Well, real quick, Coach, do you have a Sherwin-Williams close to you?
There is, I think there's like a little smaller Sherwin-Williams shop just down the street from us, because I think I went in there one time to I had to get a piece of siding, like paint matched,
Hmm.
because we had to replace a piece of siding on the old house that we had before we sold it. So like found the siding replacement and I got a paint match on it to go ahead and paint it. I'm pretty sure that was a Sherwin-Williams. Do you mean like a store, or do you mean like a
Store.
like
Yeah.
like an HQ kind of thing?
It'd be a store.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a store.
Well, they start out. I don't know how much your business is going to pay, but they start out at Sherwin. They have full time and part times. Sherwin stores. It is retail, but they're very believe it or not, Sherwin is a really good company to work for, and they're very lenient. And what I mean by that is, as long as you just like show up on time and stuff like that, if you ever needed to leave to go do something or whatever, it's like that lenient job. It's almost like you're working at a store with only 12 employees or whatever, and it's like you're dealing with the owner, you're not dealing with the corporate company type thing. But they start out at least my store here, they start out at 16 full time. You can go anywhere from 1650 to like 1725. And this is the Wichita area. So in Kansas City, they would probably pay you a little bit more because Kansas City is just a bigger area, kind of, compared to Wichita. I mean, Wichita is big, but it's a big city in Kansas, but it's just not like the Kansas City area. But if I don't know if you'd be interested, but if you were and you were just kind of curious, just let me know, because all I have to do is to call, and if you just put my name on a reference thing, I'm not saying that you would get hired immediately, but it's like a really big deal because Sherwin likes to hire from within. So usually people who are recommended to Sherwin, that somebody's already working, they can, and I'm a nobody there. I work like 18. No, I only work 18 hours. I work like 15, 16 hours a week. But I really can't work any more than that. But
don't you do design work for them though?
yeah, when I'm there, but it's not. I don't get paid for the Sherwin design. Like when I'm there at work, I just kind of I'm a stain matcher, so I deal with just colors all the time, and that's the only reason, honestly, I'm bringing it up is I'm not saying Sherwin I'm not saying being an artist you'll be better at Sherwin, but if you wanted to be if you really wanted to learn colors, believe it or not, Sherwin, just working at Sherwin, you'll be a lot more comfortable with colors. And I know it's like painting houses and stuff, but it's all about color coordinating. Even like when I'm stain matching, I have to know what colors are going to react with other colors, and this color or this stain is a little red. Well, I have to kill the red, but I can't add gold, so you don't want to add necessarily green. I'm going to have to add something else. These two colors mixed together, which make green, but it's not as strong as green, that I can tone down and make it more of like a burnt brown. And it's really interesting. Like that, if I had to work more than what I do at Sherwin, I'd probably never learn that. Or if I just started and I only worked 18 hours a week, I would never learn those things. But if I did have to work part-time, like full part-time, or just a full-time, like your colors, you will be Like you'll really feel comfortable with colors working there. And it's kind of interesting, especially you being an artist. They would probably make you a color coordinator, which is like if people come in and they want to know like, oh, why do I need this yellow and not this yellow? And me personally, I really enjoy that. Because I can be like, okay, well, you see the undertones in this, well, uh, to make this yellow, even though they look the same, to make this yellow, I don't put any red in this yellow. I put a new red, and that's why it's a little bit brighter. And I really enjoy coordinating. People bring in like their stone that they're going to use for the backsplash or their sink, and I just be like, oh shit, like, okay, well, probably because you want a contrasting kitchen, you want to go with a little bit of this lighter color here that's inside this granite stone that you brought in, and it's really neat. It's a lot of fun. But it's kind of cool because everybody else hates that at Sherwin. But I'm the only one that enjoys it, so they just give it to me, so I don't have to do any of the boring work. I could just kind of, well, I wouldn't say boring, but mix and paint can kind of get monotonous after a while. And so they're just like, sure, Ryan, go. And I'm like, fuck, okay. So I go out there and it helps you like, for me, my business, it helps me understand how to talk to people. So usually with clients and stuff like that, I understand how to talk to them. And that helps out a lot. So really it's just like a win-win for me. But if you wanted to do something that was maybe not so much office work, because you don't really do that at Sherwin. You're not an office work person at Sherwin. I mean, I know you have it in it with your buddy and everything, but if just by chance, if you were interested in possibly maybe sticking a little bit more on the something that could maybe progress you as an artist a little bit, regarding being comfortable with colors and everything else. Sherwin is a really interesting place to work. But like I said, it's one of those companies that's family based. And what I mean by that is if you have family priorities and you tell Sherwin, they'll just be like, oh, okay, so we'll work around that. It's because everybody that works at Sherwin, it's really tight knit. So it's one of those jobs where you work really hard, but at the same time you play hard, almost kind of thing, where I don't know, like that's why I kind of constantly go back to Sherwin, is because I can relate with the colors. And then also it's just a really cool place. And also I'm kind of a shoe-in, like everybody lets me kind of do what I want because I fucking know everything. And I don't know. So it's just like I work 15, 16, 17 hours a week. And I feel like when I go in for 3 hours, everybody comes to me. I mean, I'm not bragging, but it's just, I have so much knowledge that people are just, oh, Ryan, what do you think about this? Hey, Ryan, how should I handle this? Hey, Ryan. And I'm just like, damn, I was just like, I'm just supposed to be here to like fucking get my 3 hours in and leave, like, but it's fun though. I enjoy it. Like, I really enjoy managing people, but I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not saying at all, don't, I'm trying to push you towards this, but I would hate for you, especially since you've picked up this drawing thing and you're doing colors, I would hate for you to go to a place that is completely devoid of that in a way. That you might not get anything out of it. I mean, so for instance, like me going back to Sherwin, it was kind of a hard thing. My wife didn't want me to go. I don't need to go back. We're just fine. We're not hurting, but it's one of those things where me personally, I'd feel better as a man in a family that I can work these hours and that money is guaranteed towards like, okay, I'm paying for groceries and I'm paying for childcare. I'm good. If I don't make any money this month, don't have any jobs, I'm fine. Hopefully I can make it up next month, which I usually do. So, but I'm going to a place that I know that my skills are developed to where it's like I'm only getting better. with my color coordination and trends and stuff like that. Um, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. But if you were interested, I don't know. And maybe when you get this job, like I said, I don't know. Maybe when you get this job, you're like, this fucking sucks. I hate this. Not because it's the worst job in the world, but it's taking you maybe too far away from something. And maybe when you work there for months and months or whatever, and you're like, I don't really want to fucking do this. Just remember I said that Sherwin might be a place, because if you ever get to a point,
we told you so.
well, not that.
No,
Just
just messing with you.
like, dude, I've been at jobs where I've just been like, God, this fucking sucks. Not because like it's a terrible job, but it's like, I don't want to fucking do this. I don't want to push papers and stuff. And it's like the same thing with BG. When I went to BG and I was doing I was so excited to work there, and it was a great job. But I realized that I didn't fit in, not the people. I just didn't fit in with sitting at a cubicle and everything being super quiet. And it was just like, I felt like I was dying inside going there, because nobody was super like crazy happy there. Not because it was a terrible job, but because it was just the office work setting, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we can't make certain jokes, and stuff like that. And now I'm in a position where I'm dealing with BG still, but I'm at home and I'm dealing with the salespeople that everybody, I'm sure that, we don't have any viewers, but I'm sure if there were a bunch of viewers, they'd be like, oh yeah, I know how salespeople are. They're gruffy, dirty old men. But granted, these people at BG are a higher class of salesmen, which I'm really happy about. They're not just dirty old men, because I've met a lot of salespeople who are just like, Jesus Christ, dude, like, are you sure you don't have a little bit of pedophile in you? Like all these dirty ass jokes you're telling me, and like,
right.
like, Jesus Christ, but so BG is really nice about that. They're still cool people, and they let some cuss words out and stuff, which is kind of nice. Like, oh, you're human. You're not this corporate puppet. But they're really nice, good people, business people, and I really, really enjoy BG Kansas. But I don't know. So I'm just throwing that out there. That might be something that would benefit you, even though it's not complete art. But you could walk away years down the line where this artwork, drawing stuff is taking you. You could always maybe look back at something and be like, I took something from that benefited me, the direction I might be going in. And those are always good moments when you can look back and be like, I benefited from that, even though that's not what I wanted to do, but I'm really glad I did it in a way. So I'm just throwing that out there. Possibly, if you need help, let me know, and I could maybe get you a job at Sherwin, which I really kind of think the color coordinating would be a blessing for you, dude. Like I really think.
Are they looking for someone with experience in that though?
Well, that's the thing. Any artist, I've seen you work with Copics. I've seen you're fine. You're not an interior designer. No. But the thing is, you got an eye for it. You just don't know it. And like when you say that, oh, I need work with colors. And I've heard you say that in the past. Yeah, you might, but your fundamentals are there. You have the eye for it. You just have to build upon that. And when you go in there, and dude, I promise you, when you go to a Sherwin-Williams, probably any Sherwin-Williams, there's not one dude who's probably like, wait, I don't want another color guy in here because I love dealing with colors. Dude, it's never like that. When you go to a place and you're like, yeah, I'm good with colors, they'll all be like, holy shit. Okay. Well, you're going to work the floor. You're like, you're that guy. We'll do the rest of it. You handle that, because customers can be kind of difficult, but at the same time, dude, it's a whole learning experience when you're drawing and I've heard Fitch say this, not necessarily with some of his, uh, um, with his, what do they call that? Oh, total brain fart. What you're doing right now for the Dungeons and Dragons, what do they call that?
Commissions.
Commissions. He said that there's been some customers that have came back and said like, I don't really like this. I don't, and so he's had to be like, oh, I know what you mean. I'll fix it, And so you have to deal with that. Even at like Finch's level, he has to deal with customer service, and customer relations, and other people's looking at artistically your stuff that you've made and been like, I don't like that. And you have to look at it and say, like, it's fucking fine, dude. Instead, Finch was like, I get it. I think I know what you're talking about. I saw that before I even sent it out, and I didn't say anything, but I'll fix it, So even at those levels, there's that customer service that you can always take from. But if you go in there and you might be oblivious to putting colors on a house or in a room, I guarantee you would pick it up way faster because you have an eye for it. And I've seen your Copic stuff, dude. You have an eye for it. Like there's stuff you can learn, but I know for a fact, if you gave me Copics and I had to do what you did, I'd be in fucking a shitstorm, dude. I'd be halfway through it and be like, this thing is fucked. Like I'm so pissed right now because I couldn't do that. Like it takes a little bit of a painting eye, and I never took painting to know how colors go. So you putting that, just with your Venom, you were putting all that, you were looking at it and being like, okay, I need to bring this out more. I need to make this a little bit more blue because the light comes in. So you can take all that and do that with walls and lighting and stuff because I think you would already understand it. Because when people say, oh, this brown looks pinky in the sunlight, and be like, okay, well, you already know that the sunlight has gold in it, has yellow in it. So when this yellow hits the other yellow, it's going to have a little bit more of it's going to bring that gold that's in that tan that you brought to me, and that's why it looks more pinky and brown, is because the reds in that brown that I see here, when that gold hits it, it's just going to make it more orange. So how do I take that into my painting when I actually do some Copics and stuff? Is that I know if somebody's wearing some khaki jeans that I'm drawing, and then I'm going to have to paint them. I know that if the sunlight's coming through here, I'm going to have to make those khakis, depending on the tone I'm going to make. I'm going to have to add some red in there. I'm going to have to add a little bit of something because it's going to, you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it helps you understand what lighting and stuff does. And when you work with colors in a house, and things look differently. So for instance, a lot of people say when they put a brown, and like, why does this look darker in my house? Well, why does it look darker? Because you don't have a light coming through in this area, and your shadow from the ceiling, it's like you can see like, okay, so why does the blue, like how does a blue look when the shadow's hitting it? Oh, it looks purple. Okay, well, it looks purple because the sunlight's coming in, hitting the blue, and then you got the shadow. And then you start understanding, like you start thinking like, why does it do this? And it's really interesting that I think you could take from that and understand when you do your Copics, you can be like, oh shit, I'm going to take this to the next level. If there's some orange coming in or whatever, the sun's going down, and I know in my painting when the sun's going down, I'm going to have to make it a little bit more bland. Well, how do I do that? Do I add purples? Do I add this? Because if this shadow's coming through, it's really not going to be just putting gray over this blue. I'm going to have to understand how lighting affects colors. And then what's really interesting about that too is the color coordinating. So contrasting colors, complementary colors, or it's just, It's so interesting, dude. Like that's why I really enjoy it because, and I think that's why people get uncomfortable with colors in a design level. You know, like I always tell people, like for instance, a woman came in the other day and she wanted to make a whitewash door, and she wanted to put a she's having a special stained glass put inside of it, and she's putting a cardinal in the window. And so, me being a designer, being an artist, uh, she was like, "What color should I whitewash my thing?" And I was like, "Okay, well, let me ask you this: why are you putting a cardinal in your door, in your stained glass? What's the meaning of that?" "Oh, well, the town I live in, the cardinal is the fucking thing, and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay, that makes sense. So." How about this? Why don't you look at your town and see the colors that the town colors, and see if maybe you can incorporate those colors. If not, then let's look at a cardinal in nature. Why is a cardinal so beautiful? Because it's so red and it's setting on a tree, which is brown, and then you got the green leaves. Well, okay, holy shit, that's a complementary color bonanza, you know? So if you understand color coordination, it's all taken from nature. Like nobody is sitting at Sherwin and coming up with these colors, and they're just like, "Oh, I love the brown with the fucking red. Like that's beautiful, right?" And it's like, okay, why is it beautiful? It's only because it's natural in nature, and we automatically see those beautiful things in nature, and then we're like, "Holy shit, let's put that together." You know, like there's things in the world that are already set in colors, and um, it's really just understanding those and then compiling what works.
Yeah.
uh, so
I got to get going, Ryan.
oh
Sorry.
yeah, sure.
I got to
We'll talk
pick up.
about colors.
Yeah.
I get excited when we talk about colors and art and stuff like that, so I don't know, sorry, I'm fucking talking your head off. I didn't even do any drawing, but at least you got the drawing thing, so, or at least you picked out for me. So I'll when do you want to do the next one?
I don't know. We'll text back and forth.
Okay.
So,
All right. I'll see you.
all right, man.